Hello and welcome to Mindset Kitchen. My name is Diana Padokaite and I'm a host of the show. Today I have a wonderful pleasure to have Emily right here in my kitchen. Hello, Emily.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to share this with you, with everyone who watches this. Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I would love you to introduce yourself. Tell me, who are you?
Sure. So, hi. My name is Emily Thorner. I am a global opera singer, one of the highest classical voices worldwide, very, very high pitches, which I use as a healing tool and a high frequency tool so that we can really be in our best expansion and really move into our best space. And with that, I'm also the founder of a business called MoonRising, which is devoted to helping everyone to really find who they really are and remember their own power and rise in that. So I do that through opera and all sorts of things we'll talk about, but that's me.
Wow, amazing. And I know your voice is incredible. I had the opportunity of hearing it last summer. It was, I think, summer, yeah.
Yeah, like
summer.
last July or so, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hearing it more
Yes,
and more.
yes, of course.
Thank you so much for introduction, Emily. And I know you love eating vegan food or plant-based food, however you want to say it. And I had a little thinking to do what to cook for you. So today I'm making butternut squash curry with chickpeas and spinach. It's going to be hearty, warming, just like you described in my email. It will be healthy, nourishing. I cooked this meal earlier this week. I still have it in my fridge for later on because I cook my meals and I test them beforehand. I try with my family members. Sometimes they get a no, sometimes a yes. But no, I don't think so. So now I have to rethink it. But luckily this was met with delightfulness. So I'm looking forward to cooking this for you. And just before kicking off the first message, I'm literally going to tell what I'm going to be doing, because what I do, you speak and then I'm like putting all the things in and I realize I don't even remember what I put in. So so just going to quickly introduce the spices and everything that's going in there. So Emily, I know you don't like spicy food.
I eat very mild, yes.
So that's absolutely fine. There won't be any spice here. Right, so what I'm going to do is put some curry leaves. I have them frozen, so I always have curry leaves in the freezer. Otherwise, they just go bad quite quickly. Put some curry leaves, some crushed cardamom pods, and some black mustard seeds. A little concoction. Whilst these are warming, I'm going to read your first message, and I must say, I mean, you sound incredible.
Oh, thank you. I actually want to ask if we can set an intention for this experience.
Yes.
So to whomever watches this in whatever month or year or time or day that you watch this, and with whomever you watch this that you love, I hope that you receive these words not just as something that you brush past, but something that you can recognize yourself in it, something that really can speak to you, something that hopefully it maybe sets you on another space, another higher level of your path, something that inspires you to make changes and to open up new doorways and to elevate and to, break cycles and move into something that you really want. So that's my intention from this.
I love that. Thank you so much, Emily. You know what? This is my intention with this show. So having people like you hopefully reaches out to those people who actually want to have that intention in their life as well, to want to change, to grow, to learn, to see something new with different eyes.
Exactly.
And I remember when it was first time speaking to you on a video, on a Zoom call, I was just feeling so excited and I couldn't tell why. I knew that I've got you here with me, so that is exciting. But I just felt this happiness in my heart, and I think that's what you shine, if I may say, like a sun. That's what you release, that energy.
Thank you.
And I hope people do sense that in our episode today.
I hope so too. I hope so too. That's super, super sweet. I really do believe that the frequency that you hold, the energy that you hold is contagious. So we might as well be
so excited.
We might as well be like our, most true divine self, right? So, yeah.
So again, before I'm reading the first message, I'm quickly going to chuck in some onions. Onions going in.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Going to start smelling really nicely. And I'm going to read the first message.
Perfect.
You have to leave the ground to learn to fly.
Yes. So this one comes with a bit of a story, if you will.
Please.
So this was actually a quote from a song that I loved by a band named Zox, Z-O-X. Don't even know if they're still together. But it was a band that I heard in high school. And it really spoke to me as a way to live. And I think this is so deeply true. Like too often people like wait for permission, right? They wait because they're afraid to make mistakes. They go, I sit back, let me just, if someone chooses me, if someone validates me, if someone says, yes, you can do this, they make bold steps. But with this, if you, take that leap, if you have something within that speaks to you, loving the gloves, amazing. Wow, okay.
Just different intentions coming in.
Intense, amazing cooking. Okay, so, but like if you have something that you desire in life, something you're passionate about, maybe it's cooking, or for me, it was always singing, and later it was not just singing, but also making a giant difference in the world, both together, that you don't need to wait because of course, we can't possibly know how it's going to turn out. We can't know the how. We can't know the when. In fact, that would be really boring. Like if we knew all the answers before, that would be so boring. Like that would just like take the mystery and the surprise of life. And I don't want that. I don't know about you, but I don't want that. And sometimes we think we want that. But anyway, you have to leave the ground to learn to fly is all about you don't know how, you don't know what way, but you know that you're going to take that first step. You know you're going to take that first step. You're going to put that momentum. You're going to move something. You're going to take an action that might feel really, really daring. And as you do, you take off. And I know you know, but for anyone that doesn't know, this has been something I have lived with that mindset really most of my life. And thank God for that, because I would not be where I am at all without that.
You know what? As you were talking about this, Emily, an image came to my mind of something I've recently watched.
Yeah.
And this is to do with animal world. So from David Attenborough.
Ooh,
I can't remember the name of the bird, but they put their nest up in the mountains, really up high, to protect their chicks.
Mm.
However, for them to have some food, these chicks had to take a leap and jump.
There you go.
And you know what? I can just see these chicks tumbling down these massive mountains, these rocks, taking that leap to get the food, to learn to fly, just to live. And majority of them do survive. One only dies, but all of them survive with all these bumps and rolling down and stopping, again rolling down. And this is kind of, that's why it just came to my vision. It's almost like that. You are going to fall, you are going to hurt.
Of course.
But you've got to take that leap, and there won't be any right moment. The moment to take the leap is the moment you are in now.
Exactly. There is only the now moment, You can't go back, you can't change things, you can't go to the future because you don't know what the future will be. And I believe that the future is created from the now moment. So it's essential. I mean, there's actually a song about this from A Tender Land. It's an opera, of course, by Copland. And in this aria, it's all about like she stays behind this picket fence. She never ventures, and she's like, what's beyond that picket fence? And like you're never going to know unless you actually try. But the thing is, you have to be okay with making mistakes. You have to be okay with the bumps and the bruises and what happens when you fall. And I don't know if you want to go into my life story of that, but like it is absolutely a way that I have it will never fail you because it comes from something that you want. It comes from something that you desire. It comes from following your heart and not, the things you see around you. And I think that's so important, is that it's not ever going to look like it's perfectly laid out or perfectly safe. It never will. When you have that idea, when you have that moment, when you have that impulse, you have to follow it because, the person of your dreams could be on the other side. The dream career could be on the other side. And it will happen in stages, and it will happen in puzzle pieces, and it might not make sense. It might not make sense for a really long time, but someday it will make sense. So we have to take those chances. And I say, let's fly, because the ground is rather boring.
I love that. I love the end. Yeah. You know what, Emily? So it's sunshine. I love it. It's so beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
I love refreshing. That. It also makes me think as well. I've written a couple of blogs as well. It's about leaning towards that fear or that feeling. So, for example, when I have so many examples, but let's just say this one. When I came up with Mindset Kitchen idea, I felt quite lost, doubtful. Whilst I'm thinking about that idea, I just think it's so crazy and so nuts, and this is not going to work. But at the same time, my heart is beating that my heart is like beating more and more as I'm talking about it. And I was like, oh no, I've said it. I have to make it happen. No idea where to start, but it felt so right from my heart that this is exactly what I want to do. And it's so scary.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to jump, take that leap. And I'm flying. And now I'm flying. And believe me, 3 days ago, I've actually just finished writing a blog on being entrepreneur, being solo entrepreneur, right? And all these doubts and anxieties and fears that come in. I've never been an entrepreneur. I've always had a boss, always had a salary, health insurance, paid holidays, everything is organized. And now I'm like, wow, so it could be any time I'm work. I could be working at 7 a.m., could be working at midnight. It just does not matter anymore. And all these things are so hard. But I've taken this leap and I'm flying and falling and flying and falling and flying and flying and flying.
And it's worth it. It's so worth it.
I totally agree. So I love that you live by this. And I love that this was your first message that you brought up.
Yeah, isn't that wild? I was like 14 years old, back when I didn't have maybe the best mindset and before doing all this, inner journey work. But that spoke to me. Thank God I found that, because, that helped me feel courageous enough to begin to make some daring choices. I mean, like when I first moved across the globe and was like, because I'm from Boston and I love the States, but I decided, I feel more at home across the world. I'm going to move my whole life across the world. I didn't know how that was going to go. I think about trusting ourselves and trusting the universe, or whatever you want to call it, that, without risk, there can be, not that great reward. Like we've got to be daring enough to make those risks. But like you said, in being an entrepreneur, and I get that as a fellow entrepreneur, there's so many things that come up for people, so many things. And whatever that fear or resistance is, on the other side of that is something that benefits not just you, but all the people waiting to meet you. So basically, go to the ledge and jump.
So
jump high.
I feel like you just came perfect timing today, because I had loads of different
so good.
I'll tell you in a moment what's going in there. I had lots of doubts, and that's why I start writing sometimes, to share with my viewers and the people who may read this, that you're not alone in this. And I want to share not just the exciting moments, but also the difficult moments.
Yeah, that's real.
And I feel like you are here. And what makes me say this is because if you don't share, people will not know, and then you will not get that support. So I feel like you're just telling me all these right things that kind of boost me up on my journey, and it actually assists me. So by sharing and being open, how you dealing with this, what's going on internally, telling so that people understand you, I think is really helpful as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, certainly, of course, it's not all perfect moments. Of course, there'll be scary moments or challenging moments or difficult moments. But I think, and I don't know if this will be too far from it, but I'll say it anyway. There's a big thing that comes up with a lot of entrepreneurs around like, what if I make a move that's too big? What if I look too big? What if I'm too much? And often that's just around like a fear of like, if I am too much, this bad thing will happen. But really, it's just about being yourself. So that might be a little far off from what we've been saying, but it's the whole picture. Like if you want to have it all, it means the good, the bad, the ugly. And absolutely, we do this with support. We do this with all the support, but we are expanded. We are led to change when we hear it at the right time. And that's why I hope that whomever watches this and listens to this, there's something in this that goes, you know what, I'm gonna take that chance. I'm gonna go to that cliff, and I'm gonna pursue something that's actually in alignment with my heart and not just my mind and what I think I should do or the limits I've been living in. That's so key, like that we lead from our hearts, because, we gotta do life to our fullest. You only have this life once. You're you once. Once.
Love that.
Why not go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to leave the ground to learn to fly.
Yes. Get off the cliff. Jump.
And again, that bird is tumbling down in my vision. Seriously, that was really good analogy. I always usually use pictures of what people say. And for example, if I spoke to my son now, I would say, do you remember that little bird? He jumped off the cliff and he survived, and then he met his parents down there. And you'd be like, yes, I remember David Attenborough. So yeah, so you got to do that too. Not literally.
Yeah, not actually, guys. Like
not actually. Thank you, Emily. So what I was doing in the meantime, I put some ground turmeric, ground coriander powder, and cumin, followed by ginger and garlic. And this actually dish is really nice to cook. I promise you could make this dish in 20 minutes. So it's really good kind of midweek dinner, lunch, or you can prepare in advance, and it's actually much nicer the next day. So I'll give you a little bit of takeaway as well. So you can treat yourself for a little lunch next day as well. Not for everyone, that usually, it just turns out that Emily gets that.
Guys, it smells so good. It's like a very warming scent. It's like very inviting.
It is, isn't it? I love ginger.
Me too.
Use a lot of ginger in many things. And here we have vegetable stock. So I'm just going to pop that in there.
Oh yeah.
A little
from an energetic perspective, if I may, anything orange food helps support the energy point of our creativity. Wow. So this will actually help us be more in our, creative center, more in our like birthing ideas, which is of course the whole idea of like, if you have something that you leave the cliff and you go and do it. So yeah, it's all connected.
There you go.
Yeah.
You were looking for you were giving me ideas for orange vegetables, and you said there was also yam and maybe sweet potato, and you said something else, and I was like, I wonder what is that something else, and I think it was butternut squash. No, I chose it. It couldn't have been. It probably wasn't butternut squash, but I was like, oh, what other vegetable?
I think that is what it was actually.
Or maybe like carrot curry. I don't know about that, but I think squash curry, sounded much better. Yeah. So there you go. The orange is working for us. So I'm actually going to pop them in now. It will require maybe 10 minutes or so, just gentle cooking, before I start adding chickpeas and coconut and spinach.
So excited of this. And I love what you're doing. I have to say that too. I mean, I think that, the ingredients of your mindset and the ingredients you put in your body, if they're all healthy and really, really to best serve you, to be at your most optimal, mind, body, spirit, like that is being well on your way, I think.
So many times on my show, I cook variety of meals, and some of them could be deep fried. Let's say I made katsu curry or these pastries from Lithuanian dish. And I agree, because healthy eating is kind of 80% of my diet. And then 20% I allow myself to enjoy and treat myself to something a little bit more naughty. And so I say when my guests come over, you either get really good or really naughty.
Got it.
Because so I think this one is really good actually. It turns out really good, but I'm pretty sure the same way probably would be yourself, because you can't deny sometimes to treat yourself as something a little bit naughty. But I think it's all about the balance. Everything needs to have that balance. So I think these kind of meals, especially plant-based, I try to incorporate at least 2-3 times a week in my diet. And believe it or not, that sometimes don't even realize there is no meat or anything in there. Once you start eating and finding ways to incorporate lots of vegetables, lots of protein like tofu, it becomes really nourishing and it feels so good after you eat.
Yeah,
so that's just a sign. You don't feel, bloated, or you don't feel lethargic, or you feel sleepy. Suddenly you are hit with like, I want to go to bed.
I actually was not eating plant-based for most of my life. It's only about a year ago, maybe 11 months ago, that I was like, okay, it's time. And I kind of went in and out of it for a bit because I travel so much and it was hard to like find plant-based meals. But exactly that. I found that a lot of foods were kind of making my skin puff up or making me bloated or just really causing me to feel very foggy. And, as an opera singer, got to be as clear as possible. And especially, of course, doing energy work with also opera, like I want to be as clear of an energy as I possibly can. So, the lighter, I really believe that it's so important to be light, to live light.
That's right.
Like if something is really heavy, we can feel that and other people can feel it. So the lighter we are, actually, the more amazing ideas come to us, speaking of ideas, and the more we just feel that we can take, that flow to create them rather than just like push. But that could go on another long tangent. Anyway, eating light, very good.
I agree with that. And you know what? It just came up again, the little visual. When I used to work in investment banking, I would be sitting at my desk. And if I had a really heavy lunch, the rest of the afternoon, it's really hard because it's hard to focus. I feel tired. I need a coffee. Then you have a coffee. And that introduces another cycle of crashing. Then maybe a cookie because I need some sugar and so on. So it's about finding when it works for you. If you want to have a naughty meal, if you want to have a takeaway, do it when you're just going to be chilling. You don't have to travel anywhere, go out anywhere, do any creative work. So it's having that awareness, I think. For example, if I have an event on Friday, on Monday, I will already start eating healthy. And I will not have, let's say, any wine or alcohol during the week. I will consume less meat, less wheat or gluten. That's what affects my body. And I'm just putting that focus. And on the weekend, I'm like, oh, wow, that week was intense. I'm tired now. Oh, I'll have a bit of pizza with my son in Pizza Express, for example. So I have that kind of awareness balance and awareness when I can indulge, because at the end of the day, I'm human and I love food. I could pretty much eat everything.
Oh my God, I love food too.
Exactly, right? So you have to indulge, you have to enjoy, but also creating awareness around your body and what your body needs at what times. Really important. So thank you for asking this question. Thank you for inquiring, because I do love talking about food, and but the guests bring so many amazing messages and we tend to kind of like drift there and drift there. So perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I love this little chat about our healthy food that is now there cooking. Right, let's move on to the second message, which links up really nicely to the first one. And as I read the email that you sent, it was like, yes, it's almost like we're just taking these leaps as Emily intended.
Yes.
And I love what you did with it.
I cannot remember what we've said, so I'm like, surprise. I am ready. All right, hit me.
Leap and the net will catch you.
Well, that's actually super similar. Very, very, very similar. It's really kind of one and the same, truly. So I feel like it's like the closing of that one. It's that when you don't know what's going to happen, like trusting that you will be safe, you will be supported, you will get the resources you need. I feel like that's something that probably stops a lot of people with, and has, of course, like I understand that, but like even when you can't see where the net is, to know that as you make that momentum, as you make that movement, and I'm going to say this and just openly say I am not an expert on physics at all. So I'm going to hope I get this right. Movement creates movement, right? If everything is static, nothing moves. When you move, naturally there has to be some other kind of movement. Even if you cannot see that net, even if you have no idea what that net is, whether it is financial backing or a home in a new country or some kind of proof that you're going to have clients or that people are going to like you or whatever it may be. And by the way, those things don't matter in terms of, it doesn't matter if people like you. What matters is that you are being yourself. But that's another space. But anyway, you don't know what the net will be. You can't know what the net will be. But it's that trust of there will always be a net. I am always safe. I am always supported. If I put my movement into the universe, if I put my action forward, maybe it's writing an email that's like really, really, really scary. Maybe it's introducing yourself to someone that could change your life. Like not from a space of, oh my God, if this doesn't happen, I'm doomed. But from a space of, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice. Because I'll give you a life story moment here. I introduced myself to, I have no idea how many countless singing agents with the very unique modern classical music that I do. And, you know, there was one in particular, not to give too much away, but relevant. There was one in particular I wrote in 2019. And again, they wrote me in, like, we spoke again in 2020 when everything was done and stopped and closed. And I didn't think anything was going to happen from that. And then last year, they write me out of nowhere saying, do you want to audition for this ideal thing? And I got to like the final two of this huge, huge, huge opera opportunity. So just to say, you never know. You absolutely never know. But if you don't take those steps, there can be no net to catch you. So I think it's really just about going, okay, whatever it is that I want or desire, I trust that I will always be supported to take those leaps. This is essential because it is this single, I've seen incredible people wait years, and I mean literally years, to take tangible action on the things that they know they want to do in this world, the things they know they want to make because of this worry, this excuse. I'm stuck in this loop. Emily, it can't happen this way. No, it has to be like so many things that we just get so stuck on. But actually, if they just took away all of that fear for a second, if they just moved with the universe, if they just saw, and if they just moved their mindset into, you know what? The net's going to be there. I don't get it. I don't need to get it, but I'm going to follow my calling. I'm going to follow my bliss, and that net's going to be there. And the puzzle pieces may not look how you think they're going to look or be at the timing you think they're going to be at, but they will appear. Oh, yeah. I'm distracted by the food, so you guys. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
You know what, Emily? It makes perfect sense. Actually, knowing a simple thing is to know there is a net, believe there is a net, and constantly believe that. So obviously, we talk a lot about beliefs and so on in different episodes as well. But it's a simple message, knowing the net exists. So actually, something again came up to me. There was a training that I attended 2 years ago. And I think that was the very similar message that was trying to get through to people. We were asked to volunteer, and lots of people actually did not take that leap and volunteered for that particular exercise. But we had to go on the chairs, stand on the chairs, face away from the people behind you. And the people behind you held their hands together, lowered themselves, and you were asked to just fall backwards.
What an exercise.
Oh, yes. The idea is there will be a net. There is a net. Can you just trust that? Because these people obviously are not going to move. There are 8 people. You know, if you have a guy, there are 15 waiting for you behind with double, triple hands, you know. So you just need to fall. And it was quite scary, I must say.
I bet.
You know? But that kind of message, that's how I can interpret. Take the leap because there will always be some sort of net, no matter what. And how many times people did take leap and maybe things didn't work out certain way, but it always works out. It always works out. It always, you land somewhere always, right?
I think there's one other part of this I have to say, especially from the space of seeing a lot of entrepreneurs, because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, more under MoonRising than, of course, opera, but like all together in one. Anyway, a lot of idea-driven entrepreneurs, passion-driven entrepreneurs, or anyone, or like a creator of any kind, they want to see that proof so much that their ideas are working out for them that many of them quit too early. And that's important to say too, that not only that do we believe, okay, the net's going to be there, but also that I'm going to trust without needing immediate proof. Because some things, like really big things, can take years and the right divine time. But if it's the thing, like the thing that you are obsessed with, that you love to do, the thing that makes you who you are, the thing that feels right in your heart, where you're like, okay, if I was to close my eyes and shut out everything and no one had to tell me what to be or who to be or if I could just close my eyes and tune into my heart and my heart frequency, what I want to do in this world, forget all the shoulds, that I can know it's going to work out in divine time if I take the steps I am led and shown to, even if they don't always make sense. So I think it's not just, I'm editing my own thing, right? It's not just leap and the net will catch you. It's leap and the net will catch you, but also that I don't need to see proof immediately to know I'm on the right track. What I need to know is, does it feel right to me? Does it feel aligned to me? Because especially in 2024 and onwards, I think you're going to see a lot of people go on that path of, I am moving with the flow of the universe or God or whatever you want to put. I'm moving with my heart flow. If it's not what I want, I don't want it. So it's just having that unwavering faith. And I am proud to be a living embodiment of unwavering faith. Like, you guys knew, like, all of the crazy, miraculous things that have happened when I had no proof, when I fell over, when I was, experiencing so many moments of failure or backpedaling, or like things that like many other people would have given up in their business and also in my opera career. But I've always had faith. And the more you have faith and the more you listen, the more doors open. Yeah?
I love you, Emily. Can I just keep you today at least all day here? I also work away outside, behind the scenes here. My goosebumps, just my everything is just standing up.
I love you too. She said she loves me, guys. I feel that love. Oh.
I feel it when you talk. It's just like I feel it in my heart, and it touches me. And my goosebumps are like my guidance. As soon as someone tells me, and I've got the goosebumps, I'm like, yes, it's a yes. It's touching me. Because my body reacts, my mind and my body in turn reacts. So I love it. And I love how passionately you talk, and you talk from your experience. And that's why you're here in my kitchen, because you've gone through it. You are walking the talk, It's not just you saying it, you're actually living it. And that's
Every
what I love
day.
about you.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
That is so sweet.
So what I'm going to do now, I had to reduce a bit the heat. What I'm going to do now is I've got two things here. I've got, just covered earlier, I've got coconut milk, from a can.
And can I have you in my kitchen every day, or be in your kitchen?
Yes, of course. If you keep talking like that, I will come and cook for you.
Oh, amazing. Please come on tour with me. Yeah.
So I have put some coconut milk.
That looks
and
good.
Also here is coconut cream.
Ah, cool.
So just adds a bit more creaminess.
Nice.
Because in coconut milk you have a kind of a chunk and a liquid which settles and it becomes a bit creamier. So it's not enough for this, because this dish requires coconut cream purely. But I kind of separated and made it a bit lighter. So I'm just going to add a little chunk of coconut cream.
Guys, it's going to be so good.
It's smelling amazing, right? There you go. Okay, so we'll allow this to dissolve, and I will put afterwards chickpeas and spinach to finish that off. And in the meantime, I'm going to read your third message.
Let's find what's next.
I feel like you should have 10 at least, we need, I'm just going to be like, having like, okay, number 15.
Cancel my whole schedule. Let's go. All right, cool. All right, what's next?
Third message is to do with purpose and revealing and harnessing the gifts we have to nourish and share in this world the entire way. So you say the entire way you live yourself by following your intuition to create a path of gold.
Damn.
That's like from a book, some sort of a quote almost, but I know it's
no, it's just from an email. Okay. Oh my. All right. So there's like 3 layers to this, right? There's your purpose, there is your intuition, and then there is your path, right? I made it so long and so good. I'm proud of that one. Anyway, but also your gifts. Everybody has a gift. And no matter who you are, when you see this, hear me when I say, everybody has a gift. Everybody has some part of the puzzle that you hold, some cog, some wheel. Oh my God, I'm not going to get distracted because that looks so good.
Focus.
Everybody has a piece of the puzzle. No gift is too small. None. I think that's part of the problem is some people go, oh, I don't know what it is, which is okay. It will develop. It will unfold. It will reveal itself. But no gift is too small. Every single person on this planet has a gift that is your sole purpose waiting to be revealed. It will be easier to reveal it. Well, I'm going to do a little humble brag here and say that I've had really good feedback on the MoonRising platform for the meditation to reveal your inner purpose. So I highly recommend that. But the more you do the inner work, the more you move into spaces of forgiveness for things that have wronged you, or releasing grief, or all these energies that we don't realize are actually completely taking up so much space. When you empty that closet of space, that's a visual analogy for you, friend. When you, I don't know what this is. When you empty the closet, when you empty the room, right? When you really make room in your energy, in your mind, in your path, by doing the inner work so that you have space. When you're no longer holding on to things from the past that have caused anger or whatever it may be, or repressed sadness, when you make space, the more space you have, the more on your soul path you will be. And the more that will unfold your path of why you're here, your path of what your gifts are. Everybody has an inkling of where they feel good. And it can be so simple. It can be, I really like helping people. I really like making people feel good. It can be anything. But that gift will become more and more revealed as you, as I said, empty the room, empty the space, and do, your inner journey. And on top of that, as you follow your intuition, everybody has an intuition. Everybody. When you talk to someone, you I feel really good when I talk to them, but you talk to someone else, you're like, oh, I don't feel so good. That's intuition, yeah? Or you walk in a space and you go, nope, not going in there. Or you're walking along a path and you're like, I don't know why, but I have to go in that cafe right now. I have to talk to that person right now. That's your intuition. When you said you had goosebumps, I would bet probably everybody at some point has been like, oh my God, I've got the goosebumps. Happens a lot also when we hear music that really touches us. It is a way, it's confirmation. It's yes.
Yeah.
It's yes. And, intuition could be its own full mindset kitchen, video, as you know. It's long. But the point is, you will be guided. If you trust yourself and the things that feel good as you go along your path, you will be guided in the best possible ways to fulfill your purpose, to rise in your purpose, and to share your purpose. This is a great example. This is you sharing your purpose. And me sharing my purpose by joining you sharing your purpose. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So cool. And that last part, as it weaves a path of gold. I mean, of course, that was like poetry that just came from my heart. But it's true, though. As in, it weaves a path that leads to such abundance, not just for you, but for everybody. Because I find that a lot of people are just so afraid to be in their purpose because they're like, I'm not good enough, or there won't be enough money, all these like resistance things. But actually, you being in your purpose best supports everybody. You being here, not doing investment banking, no offense to investment banking, we love the bankers, but you following what's true to your heart, even when you don't have that net, or like you don't know what the net is, even when you don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know what's below. You're like at the edge of the cliff, like, oh boy.
Literally.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But you know. Your heart knows, right? It benefits everyone. It benefits me because I'm here sharing this. It benefits you because you're watching this. It benefits your mother that you speak to because you watch this episode and you're like, you know what? I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to do that thing. It benefits everyone. And because it benefits everyone more than you hiding who you are or running away from your gifts or self-sabotaging or whatever else it may be, because it benefits everyone, that path will appear, that net will appear, and it will weave a path of gold. I feel like I should mic drop because that's what I
Our dust, remember that we referred to earlier. Little
Can we
gold
have
dust.
gold? That would be great.
I would love to have them.
That would be
yeah.
so.
We should have just.
That would be so me. Just gold dust.
That would be
gold
literally.
Dust, gold dust. Yeah.
So Emily, loved it. Thank you so much for sharing it. And I do talk a lot about intuition as well, and I write in my blogs. But it's something I always had, but it was something that I was not always aware of and not aware how to tune into it. I did that. I mastered it in my own way. But what would you say? What is the easiest way to tune into your intuition? Because I know you have your own way, and it's probably not going to work to anyone or maybe one person, but just to a neighbor. If your neighbor asked you, like, what do I do? How do I find my intuition?
Oh man.
Sorry. Not.
She's not sorry. I know you want to know this answer. I'll answer it in twofold, right? Number one, to open your intuition means to unlearn all of the things that have blocked your intuition. I'm going to give this analogy again.
Love
if you're
that.
in a room, if you're in a house, if you're in a room, if you're in an apartment, a space, a closet, and you have all of this extra stuff in there that is actually blocking you from seeing, from feeling, from knowing, as you release layers energetically, as you release, again, layers of sadness, grief, the things that we hold that we have no clue we're holding, all that subconscious space. As you make space in that room, specifically in your third eye or your crown, if you know what I mean, but as you make space, as you trust yourself, as you decide to trust that you're guided, even when you don't know that you are, all of these things help build your intuition. But nothing is going to build it more than doing the inner work. Nothing. So it's really about being in a frequency of light. It's really about being in a frequency of light. If you're in a frequency of density, how can you possibly be open? But if you're in a frequency of light, if you dedicate to yourself, like, this is going to sound really strange, but it's fine. I think of myself almost like a tuning fork. If I can be always at my highest frequency of light, that does not mean that I never have negative emotions or process. Of course you do. You express them. You don't shove them down. You express them. And I try to always do that and look at them with love. But if we can really be at a frequency of light and not density, we're going to be more open. And of course, it also helps to work with people that we really desire to work with in that space. But to listen, the short and fast answer about that is to learn to be quiet with yourself. As in, a lot of people, and I mind you, I'm very much a people pleaser, like very much a people person. I'm a Libra, right? I like to be around people. But if you're always around other people, you're actually taking in all of their energetic input, like a computer, like Sally says this, Bob says this.
Yeah.
My grandma said this.
Yeah.
Hi, grandma. And that can actually make it so you can't hear yourself. it's really important to have some dedicated time where you are in your space and in your space of quiet. So a lot of people hear their intuition and can feel into their intuition when they're like taking a shower, when they're about to go to bed, and when they first wake up.
Oh, yes.
Because not only, well, not just about being alone, because maybe you're, you know, sleeping next to a partner, but like your brain is not in like super awake state, nor is it super asleep when you first wake up and go to sleep, but instead it's in that perfect theta space. When you are in a theta space, you will feel more open. It's also when your subconscious is the most open. So that's why, for example, meditations I make, etc., in MoonRising, like a lot of them work with binaural beats because we want you to be in a theta space. So the brain can take more subconscious suggestions for the best when we're in theta, but B, you will be more intuitively open when you're between awake and asleep. But it's a muscle, so to speak. It has to be practiced, but it is absolutely something that everybody has access to. And honestly, you'd be surprised just how many people follow their intuition and let that be their guide, that are like doing huge things. Like I feel like a lot of people just go, oh, it's just me. No. Like you're not alone.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah, I agree that yes, that helps. That actually gave me a couple of things as well. And when you were referring to the light, the frequency, I remembered myself. I think that's how I enhanced my intuition, and that connection is by sitting in the light. And what I mean is sitting in the light, I actually would close my eyes and I'm visualizing I'm the light, and the light expands outwards from inside me, comes from earth, from down like a waterfall. And I just become this light. And then suddenly I visualize that it's actually, I sometimes open my eyes to see because it becomes so bright, but it's probably maybe, I don't know, maybe sun comes into my room or something. It's always
it's
like,
not the sun.
I'm like, why is it so bright? I open my eyes, it's the same room. But why did it feel like so bright when I closed my eyes and under my eyelids, I sense more light. And then I imagine the light going outside and reaching other people. And when I start to, as soon as I imagine that I'm reaching other people and I see the people becoming happier, I'm like, wow, it's actually kind of making me happy. I'm spitting myself there, but it's like kind of making me happy as well. And I'm like, I just visualized that it gave me happiness, and I started to realize loads of things within that as well. How easy it is to simply sit with yourself and actually get happy for no reason, you know. And I'm just sitting there, and then I start creating the gratitude and being happy where I am, and so on and so on. But I think that once one of the steps that allowed my intuition to become so strong, that
makes sense.
Until the point that I could see things before they happen, and I was so in tuned. It felt like the universe was giving me 5 minutes ahead, like a preview. And you probably would relate to that. I would see things. I'm like, did I just imagine that? Did I hear the doorbell? Yeah, I heard the doorbell. And then the doorbell came on. Oh, so I heard the doorbell in advance of it being rung. That was just, it used to blow my mind. And now I was like, oh, no, just 5 minutes, just watch. Because I just know, you know? And it's so easy. It becomes all-encompassing you. It's almost like the brain almost disappears and comes back in time to time, but it goes away and it's you.
Exactly. You just gave another piece of the puzzle too. Like the brain, the ego, if you will, has to kind of get out of the way, because then we can let that energy come through, that those messages come through. And that's so beautiful. What you just said about like being in the light and sharing that light with other people. Whoever you are, as you see this, if you do that, you are actively changing the world.
Oh, wow. Love
and
that.
I mean that. Like, if more of us did that, we are actively changing the world. Because there was this thing what was it? Someone said this as an experiment, and this did not come from me. That if you're in a room and 100 people are like saying, I love you, you're amazing, it would be impossible for you to have a negative thought.
Wow.
Impossible. In fact, try it. It would be impossible. At the same time, if you're sending that like good intention and light to others, they're going to feel that and they won't even know why. So I love
powerful.
that you said that. One more thing about intuition. We always want to know the end result, right? We want to know where it's going. We want to know it's going to work out. But with your path and weaving that path of gold, and with your purpose and your gifts and all those things, the answers are right in front of us, one step at a time. And it will always be provided for us at the right place, at the right time, from the right person that we can hear it from. It will always come, and it may not make any sense. I had a moment last year when I was living in this incredible, incredible home, and then my landlord sold. My landlord sold. I loved this place. And I sat with it, and I could have been like, really like, oh no, how awful. No, I went on a walk. I was quiet. I listened. And I felt, I'm going to go to Italy right now. And I did. I put all my stuff in storage. I went traveling the world for 7 months. I did the thing I've like always wanted to do, like the big adventurous, like go backpacking thing. And I went everywhere. I went like to Sicily. Oh, I won't go too far. I fell in love with Sicily. I really did. But nothing made sense. It was not logical. I did one step in front of the other. But because I did that, it led to some life-changing realizations and changes and things that have opened in my life that I would not trade for the world. And it's still happening. I'm still having amazing things happen. By the way, I have a home again. I have a home base again.
You're back here.
I am. I'm back in Notting Hill. But I still love Italy. But that led to a shift in my experience, led to a shift in my environment. It led to a shift in my vibration, if you will. And more people, more countries, more opportunities have opened. So that single moment of just going, I'm going to stop and I'm going to listen and I'm going to let it come to me at the right time and not need to know all the answers. I would say one other piece of advice. Often people come to me and say, oh my God, I'm really worried about this thing. I need to know. I need to know. If you're really worried, you can put that thing that you're worried about and just visualize it in like a circle of gold and give it over to source light and know that the answer will come to you. Know that it's being taken care of. That answer might come the next day as you wake up or as you go on a walk.
I love that.
So trusting those steps one piece at a time is so key.
Love that, Emily. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my God, you just gave me another idea actually.
Oh, here we go.
I've got lots of ideas for Mindset Kitchen and the visions. I'm going to put that idea into this little parcel and just surround it with light and then send it out there.
And know that it's heard. Yeah. And know that you'll be guided. And it might make no sense. It might be like your guidance, your feeling might be clean the kitchen. Seriously.
Yeah, you'll clean the kitchen afterwards.
Oh boy.
It wasn't part of your light?
No.
No, okay.
But it might be anything. It might be like, go talk to that person.
Yeah.
Go say hi to that stranger. Go give that person a card. You don't know what it will be, but you gotta like all of those things when it doesn't make sense. Or like that time I like, you know, my friend gave money to a stranger. Or that time that I like helped an Uber driver to like get back in touch with his desire that he let go of. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Seriously, I could be chatting to you here all day about these things. I promise this is right up my street. And I feel so uplifted. So many times after filming with people in my kitchen, and I think the people who come through these doors, they are so inspiring. Their energy is so pure, so friendly, so kind, and so giving. I promise I go on this, you know, petrol or diesel, whatever you have given me in that kind of form for like another week. Yeah. I am so recharged now by just listening to you. And so many ideas. So whilst I was multitasking and listening to you, I had also been thinking. Just mastered a couple of extra skills in here. But I've been thinking so many, you were opening up something more for me whilst I'm actually sitting here. It's just kind of crazy.
Can I share why?
Yes, please.
The thing is, like, I think it's actually not just about the words you say, because yes, it's a lot of uplifting words, yes. But I think it's also the frequency of what you get in touch with. When you're around anything of a super high frequency, it helps you raise your frequency, which is why I want MoonRising music and healing music and anything of a high vibration to be in as many places as possible, because it will have, oh my God. You guys, this looks amazing. So anyway, I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, thank you so much, because I feel so inspired. And as I said, I will keep on going on this feeling, however you want to call, for another week until another guest comes in and recharges me, and I just keep on going. And I feel like I was a rough diamond, and I'm just getting smoothed and smooth.
We're polished,
and I'm just going to be shining, and that's kind of a little bit different, but it's about that journey.
You already shine.
You thank you. It's about having that journey and enjoying the journey, whilst not always just focusing on the end of it. It's being part of it.
Yes.
And growing during, and I'm actually loving my journey, wherever it will take me.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it does not matter. What matters is I'm here, I'm enjoying this, and I'm so grateful for you being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so grateful to be here, and I really hope everyone really takes in what you just said, because it's not about an endpoint. It's about the process, and it's about enjoying every second of the process, because every moment, every present moment will not return. And as you are so enjoying, so being in the presence of that, you best create the next moment. So you said it perfectly. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. And I hope you will enjoy this dish. So it smells amazing. Emily, I put brown rice there from the rice cooker. I was sitting there all hot. Give a go. I will join in a moment as well. But beforehand, before you start trying the food, I'll just check with you that you will be okay if I share your details on my website.
Oh, of course, please.
Your website,
of course.
Any channels that you have, I'll put all the details on there so you can reach out to Emily.
Yes,
and
please.
I think secretly I'll give you a secret. You should reach out if that resonated with you. It did resonate with me many times. That I had those chats with you previously as well. I always felt uplifted, and I think sometimes it's actually not even finding a reason why you want to reach out to certain people or why you want to hear certain people. It's just by giving a go and seeing what happens.
Of course.
And
there are so many ways to work with me. There are so many ways to have access to the healing music I've made so that you can be in the highest vibration as much as you want to, and shift anything you want to, and open your intuition. I've made that, and I've gamified that. So there's so many ways that you can work with me. So yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you, Emily. So please go, give a go, give a try.
Ooh, as I said,
I've made to Emily butternut squash curry with chickpeas, loads of spinach, and the sauce is made of coconut and vegetable stock.
Oh my God.
Hopefully it's tasty.
Oh my God. It's so good. Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
It's light and flavorful and yet warming. I need some butternut squash.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for watching. I had an amazing time. I felt like my heart was touched, and I hope your hearts were touched as well. Please tune into this episode and check out Emily's website. And yeah, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you for this. Thank you, everyone.